Thank you so much, Alex, for that. In fact, let's get in our guests as well. We have Nilesh Jain from Centrum Broking and Pashupati Advani, founder of Global Foray, joining in. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Hiral on the side. Pashupati, let me come to you first. Seen what's happened with the Tata Group. You have N. Chandra, who will be stepping down and not seek reappointment for his next term, which ends in February 2027. What do you think it would actually mean for Tata Group of companies? And do you think it could continue as business as normal? And what becomes crucial? Because you will see a lot of changes in terms of strategy also that could come in later.
Yeah, well, obviously, there is change at the top. So that implies that there will be some kind of change in the strategy and the way going forward. This is the first step. It really depends on who the replacement is and what we know about that person. And also, more importantly, is that someone from inside or outside. We have no clue right now. And as a result of which, a lot of the Tata companies have taken a beating today. So let's see what happens. I think people do want to have some kind of certainty, and it would have been nice to say, I'm not going to reapply, but here's my successor, but we don't have that. So I think that it depends on what are the plans going forward.
Plans going forward will be important. Nilesh, on the charts, if you have to look at the Tata Group of companies as well, we were just looking at the returns that the companies have given in N. Chandra's tenure. But with the recent correction that has come in terms of today's session, do you think anything that looks attractive, which could be a good momentum bet and a good value buy at current levels?
Very good afternoon, Hiral. Well, certainly, if you see a couple of Tata Group counters which are already outperforming, and one of them is Titan, which is trading at all-time high today. In fact, could be a good opportunity to start a fresh edition and can be accumulated if it falls further. So it looks like merely a kind of a correction in the bull market in majority of the Tata Group companies. So first of all, Titan is a buy. If at all it falls in the range of 5,000, 4,900, that can be a good entry point, keeping a stop loss below 4,800. We can expect further upside move towards 5,200 to 5,400 going forward. And apart from that, if you see Tata Motor passenger vehicle, Tata Motor commercial vehicle, both are already underperforming and consolidating in a tight range. And after today's correction, looks slightly oversold. So can be a trading bet out there as well. Apart from that, within metal space, if you see Tata Steel, this particular counter is also after today's correction is approaching towards its support area that is placed at 178. So keeping that as a stop loss, yes, contra bet can be taken in that particular counter as well.
Okay, so that's a contra bet coming in there. But stay with us, gentlemen. Symphony, let's pull up that one on the screens because a mixed quarter is what they have reported. The revenues have been higher, operating profits alongside as well is what we've seen. There's been a slight drop in terms of the net profit. To discuss more on this, Hiren Gajjar, CFA Head IR and Treasury joins in. Hiren, welcome to the show and always.
And in terms of runway for the growth, not only in the core category, which is the household air cooler, but also in the BISP as well, there is significant runway for the growth. Obviously, I will stay away from giving any specific numbers with respect to FY27, but this is what it looks like over medium to long term.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Hiren, so much for joining in. Always a pleasure to speak to you. So that's the management of Symphony as we speak. But before we get on to the next topic of discussion, Nilesh, let me come to you with your topics as well. You've given your view in terms of Tata Group of companies and what continues to be one of the top bets there. But in this kind of a market scenario, which is seeing consolidation and an absolute range-bound move in the last 3 to 4 trading sessions, where would you put your bets?
Well, Hiran, a couple of recommendations. First of all, Aarti Industries, and if you look at chemical space as a whole, so majority of the counter are looking better place. So Aarti Industries, in fact, today has given a good breakout on the chart. So we are expecting a follow-up more on the upside towards 540 to 550. So these are the two targets for the upside, and the stop loss should be placed at 510. So Aarti Industries will be my preferred bet from the chemical space, and apart from that, within metal space, specifically aluminum space is looking attractive, and Nalco and Hindalco both are looking good on the chart. So specifically Hindalco is forming a good base formation and the rounding bottom is shaping up. So we are expecting a follow-up on the upside towards 1120 and stop loss should be placed at 1060.
All right. It's time now to talk about the stock of the day, and there are quite a few contenders, but we've picked Godrej Consumer Products for fairly obvious reasons. We've been talking about it since this morning. It has witnessed a sharp sell-off. In fact, it is at the low point of the day, and that's after the resignation of CEO Sudhir Sitapati. This was an unexpected resignation and comes soon after the AGM. Let's head across to Sharad to talk about this, the implications of it, and what happens going forward. Sharad?
Well, Alex, there is a volume-based selling happening in this counter. We are near the day's low level, and it was earlier 10% gap down opening, and then now a little bit more selling has intensified. Brokerages have also raised a little bit of concerns as here CEO Sudhir Sitapati has resigned after 5 years. That's, of course, the main reason. But the street is taking it in a, we could say, maybe an overreaction as well. There is a still uncertainty surrounding the unexpected CEO transition, why it happened, and that sort of just near the AGM. The volume-based selling is something which we are seeing, and there is a technical reversal also. That means more sell-off can happen. Valuations on the higher side, that's a little bit of concern which was there in FMCGs, but post this correction, seems like it might be over changing. Also, the operating cash flow under him has almost, you could say, gone up by more than 75% by FY26. And looking under the tenure of Sudhir, the standalone organic volume also went up by 2% from FY22 to 6% going ahead. But what's next, that's also very much important, and we'll have a new phase handling this mantle. And of course, coming from the same pedigree of GCPL, if we can get on screen, Asif Malbari, he will take over the charge as the MD and the CEO. A little bit details about him. He has already served as the global CFO since 2023, and a turnaround operations was also undertaken, especially in GCPL's Africa business. So he is a veteran and has the DNA actually of the company. But there is, of course, a concern that the management, especially the chairperson in the con call, has stated that they are rolling up their sleeves and getting things done with more candor and pace. Pretty much interesting, a very different viewpoint coming in from the management, and they see an opportunity for an execution. But is there too much overreaction happening? I just checked the valuations. It's at its 4-year low right now. 12-month P comes in at 37 times, but each brokerage has a mixed tone in their views. Morgan Stanley has stated that they don't see any immediate downsides to the consensus numbers yet as of now. JP Morgan says the internal succession has reduced the probability of execution disruption. And lastly, Citi has stated that the promoter expectations were higher in certain areas as well. Also, looking at the analyst community, most of them have a buy rating, almost 79% of them, and the 12-month target price is still on the higher side, coming in at 1,249 rupees per share. And going ahead for GCPL, of course, will be the way they tackle the industry issues and the churn which is happening. But yes, seems like a overreaction is coming in GCPL.
Thanks so much, Sharad, for that. Pashupati, I want to come to you on this one. GCPL down over 10%. The point is that it's an underperformer. Even if I look at the last 5 years or so, the stock has not done too much. It must be said, though, that when it was announced that Mr. Sitapati would take over, the stock gained quite considerably. And this might just be a little bit of a reversal of that. What do you make of the stock right now and the potential that it has going forward?
Well, to be fair, I don't really follow this stock, but I do know that there's a lot of pressure in all the FMCG stocks. I mean, we've had Hindustan Lever not doing very much. Again, we are seeing a reaction from the market that any change in leadership, which is sort of sudden and seeming to be knee-jerk, is getting a reaction from the market that seems to be more, more hard. So being down 8-10% on the resignation of a CEO is not such a surprising thing. And likewise, we're seeing the bloodbath in the Tata stocks today, thanks to N. Chandra saying he's not getting renewed next February, and that's it's next February. It's not August 2026. It's February 2027. But I think India's public does want consistent management. The FMCG space is also getting I would say re-rated, reorganized, and I think Reliance is also coming into the space in a big way, and they're actually making some headway. So I think that's also hurting matters for the rest of the people who are in the space.
Okay, so That's a couple of FMG counters that you're watching out for as we speak. But moving on, we're a little delayed with the chatter from the dealing room. My colleague Samit Sarkar, as always, joins in with everything that he's picking up. Samit, good afternoon. What do you have for the viewers?
Good afternoon, Hiral. The first stock on the list is Bandhan Bank. There are buy flows on the large HNI desk is what dealing rooms are indicating. And they are expecting some sort of positive news flow that could come in, some corporate announcement, something positive on the corporate announcement side that could come in for Bandhan Bank. But do remember that the stock is in FNO ban. Second one on the list is Dr. Agarwal Health. A big block deal took place today. Temasek and TPG were among the sellers. On the buying side, what I'm picking up here is that mutual funds like ICICI Pru and Invesco and some other FIs were among the top buyers of this deal. And this deal has happened largely around the 505 to 510 rupees band. And hence this downtick in the share prices that we are looking at in trade today. For Vodafone Idea, there are some buy flows on the institutional desk. Now, dealing rooms are indicating that one of the large FI was a seller here and the selling is largely over. Hence this 2% uptick when it comes to Vodafone Idea. For Glenmark Pharma, there are some buy flows on the large HNI and the PMS desk. Dealers are expecting MSCI inclusion, MSCI related flows in fact to come in for Glenmark Pharma and some out-licensing deal for one of its drugs, that is ISB 2301. And lastly, when it comes to Persistent System, there are some sell flows coming in on the large HNI and the PMS desk. Now, the dealers are saying that one of the recently acquired companies of Persistent, that is Nagarro, will be reporting its numbers on Friday, and there could be a big decline they're expecting a weak set of numbers from this company, and hence this sell flows coming in for Persistent System in trade.
Okay. Thank you, Samit, for all the chatter coming in there, but a couple of names I want to pick up. Bandhan Bank, let's pull up that one on the screens. You have a Dr. Agarwal's Health as well, where the block deal has taken place. You're looking at a Persistent System where there are sell flows that are coming in as well. Nilesh, on the charts, do you like a Bandhan Bank?
Well, Hiral, the counter is hovering near its 200 long-term moving average, and good part is that it has taken support of the same. So yes, at current level, the risk and reward is looking better place, and we can expect a move towards 180 to 186 on the upside. So keeping stop loss below 170, yes, one can go long at current level.
So that's with regards to Bandhan Bank as well. Moving on, we've been talking about the MSCI rejig as well. In fact, Samit continues to be with us. Samit, the MSCI rejig that is in focus, if you could help us understand, what are the expected announcements that could be coming in and what are the kind of flows that you're looking at?
A host of stocks remain in focus on the back of this. Now, this announcement of inclusion and exclusion will come in tomorrow early morning, and these changes will be effective from the 1st of September 2026, which means that adjustments, which means that inflows and outflows in these stocks will happen on August 31st. Now, Laurus Labs and Adani Energy are the two stocks which have a high probability of getting included in the MSCI standard index, and because of this, there could be an inflow of anywhere between 260 to 410 million US dollars. Then there is LIC, Lenskart and Grow. Now, these three counters have a low probability of getting included in the MSCI standard index, but if they get included, then the inflows could be anywhere between 180 to 380 million US dollars. Now, Eternal has a high probability of seeing its weight getting increased in the MSCI standard index, and that could lead to an inflow of nearly 570 million US dollars. In fact, Eternal is the counter which will see the highest amount of inflow because of increase in weightage. Now, on the back of exclusion, there is Astral, SBI Cards and Balkrishna Industries. All these three stocks have a high probability of getting excluded from the MSCI standard index, and when that happens, there could be an outflow of anywhere between 109 to 133 million US dollars. So keep an eye out for these stocks in trade. Tomorrow, the announcement is expected early morning.
Okay, thank you so much, Samit, for that. In fact, Pashupati, let me come to you on this one. On the back of inclusions and the kind of flows that could be coming in, it's interesting to see, an Eternal, you have high inflows expected. Laurus Labs, Adani Energy, though with regards to LIC, Lenskart and Grow, it's slightly on the lower side. But do you see any momentum there and any picks that could be good bets for retail investors?
Well, I had actually said that I'm surprised that LIC has gone down the amount that it has. So I'm glad that by putting it into an index, it's going to probably get some kind of inflows. The others, of course, Eternal has been there and has been will get good inflows. Likewise, Laurus Labs and Adani Energy. So, let's just wait for it to happen. But then, this next 14, 15 days between tomorrow and the end of the month, we'll see a lot of the movement. And then finally, on the first itself, you'll have the major index players who are compulsory going to have to do it actually on the first. So let's see what happens there. But expect action in all these counters.
Got it. All right. On that note, gentlemen, thanks so much for taking the time today, and pleasure speaking with you. Have a great day. But we're still in a very quick break. We're off the low point of the day. We're trading at 24,000.